Hello, friends of TikTok going live. Yes. And it is the eve of Christmas Eve, the time that I'm filming this, unless you're in Australia or I believe we are here. And let's see. Okay, there we go. We got people joining now. Okay. It was that like awkward talk to myself moment. And I just wanted to come on. I am so excited. I've reached 235,000 followers on TikTok. And I've been on TikTok for a little a little under a year now. And I'm so happy, so excited that we got it. We made it this far. So you see my coaching couch behind me. I just actually had a session with someone in Australia right before I came on live. Actually watching my friend's dog Bailey tonight and for the weekend as well. I had a really bad head cold over the past couple of days and feeling a lot better now. And it was funny because I had my group session, because I have Wednesday night group sessions. We have about 120 people in the group right now. And last night I was doing the group session, and I'm going through talking to people and working with people in the group on Zoom, and I just start going into this coughing fit. So I had to mute myself a couple of times, and people are like, "We think you're breaking up the connection." I'm like, "No, I'm just muting myself so I don't cough in your ear." So if I do cough or sniffle, I apologize because the cold, it was just a head cold that I had, was filled with sugar and spice and everything, snot and phlegm and everything nice. So we've all been there before. I'm sure you can all relate to that. So one of the cool things that I've been doing lately, working with a lot of people all around the world who have anxiety and who are really stressed out, and it's a lot of people who've been dealing with anxiety and stress on top of everything else that's going on in the world as well. And a lot of the people I've been working with, they've already been stressed and anxious about many things. They've been worrying about things, and then on top of it, other worldly events are happening. And it's interesting how many people have actually gotten better as a result of everything going on in the world. Joe asked if he can paint my pictures. I would love for you to paint my pictures. I'm in desperate need of some color. Sorry for the cough. That's why I added the flannel blanket behind me. And right now my apartment is not very colorful. I need some more color. So this style is not me at all. And hi, Amy. Hello. I usually love browns and golds and really extravagant looking things. I usually go on a shopping spree at Home Goods and decorate things. I like reds and blues and purples. But when I moved into this apartment, so I owned a house in Connecticut, sold the house, and moved into an apartment, and I actually bought furniture from one of my friends who owned a group therapy center. And she did group therapy, so the couches that I bought from her group therapy center. And so I kind of decorated everything based on what I had. So now it's gray, blue, and green. So I have little touches of that stuff. So let's get some questions going on here. So Amy asked any tips. Someone else asked, what would be the best technique to practice should I feel an anxiety attack coming on? And Stoic Benny's stoicism is awesome for anxiety. Yeah, it is actually. Daily stoicism is something that some of my clients do practice, and there are many different books and programs about learning more about stoicism. So here's some things that I recommend for anxiety. Anytime you feel a panic attack coming on or an anxiety attack coming on, one of the things I recommend is definitely becoming aware that that pattern is starting, because anxiety and panic is exactly that. It is a pattern of thought. So anytime you become aware of that pattern starting, you have to become aware of it, and you have to get in the mindset, I can be in control over this. Even if you don't think you can, you have to become aware of the fact that you are in control of it. So one of the things that you can do, and I have a lot of people asking also about health anxiety and especially COVID anxiety. Now, full disclosure, I've had a head cold the past few days, and one of the things that I did, I just want to make sure I didn't have COVID, so I had 2 rapid tests and a PCR test done. And I just got the PCR test back 10 minutes ago, and I have to be honest, I was a little anxious opening it to make sure I didn't have COVID. Like I was anxious opening it because a lot of my family members are very sick. One of my very close family members is terminally ill, and I have to be very careful about being around that person. So I got a little stressed and a little anxious about that. Now, I do believe that sickness, whether it be a cold or whether it be COVID or whether it be a stomach issue, whatever it is, I do believe that being sick is stressful. So that makes sense that you'd be stressed about it, but being overly anxious where that anxiety controls your life, that's no bueno. That's where we need to control it. So here's what you do. And Stoic Benny says, should I wear a mask when I'm watching you? If it can be transmitted over the phone, then we have bigger fish to fry, right? That's a problem. So here's what you can do. No matter what the anxiety is towards or for or from, whenever you notice yourself feeling more anxious, more nervous, more stressed, here's what you do. Number 1, you say, okay, how do I know I'm feeling anxious? So you become aware of it. You ask yourself, how do I know I'm feeling this way? Number 2, you rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being like my anxiety is the absolute worst. It's a 10. 0 being totally gone. I could fall asleep right now, or I could just sit back, relax on a hammock. And so you rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. If it is a 7, 8, 9, or 10, it's probably going to take about 5 minutes or so to really detach from that and bring it down. Then you ask yourself, what would be a more manageable number? What would be a more manageable number to bring that anxiety down to? And sometimes we can't get it down to a complete 0, and sometimes we don't want to get it down to a complete 0. So become aware of what number would be more manageable. And then ask yourself, okay, how do I feel when I'm down to that number? What's that like? How do I want to feel instead? How is this like? Because you want to activate the reticular activating system of your brain, the space that's responsible for awareness. So what you want to do is, again, become aware of the pattern or the program, become aware of how you're doing that, like how you know you're anxious, how you know you're stressing out. So become aware of that and what's happening in your body or in your mind. Rate it on a scale of 0 to 10. Ask yourself what number would feel more comfortable or feel better, and ask yourself, how would I be responding, or how would I rather feel instead? Okay? So these are questions that you want to ask yourself, and it puts you into more of a solution state of mind. Now, with that said, though, here's what happens. When you're feeling anxious and you feel it getting up there, that's when you can do an exercise to stop it. So here's one of the things you can do to stop it. One of the things you do is do what we call tapping. And it's tapping on energetic points that actually reduce anxiety by creating a flow of dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin. By tapping on this and matching it with breathing, so you tap here first, this is the anxiety relief point. You tap here first. You breathe in, you exhale slowly, and you say, I release and I let this go. And with your other hand, you imagine pushing it away. Then you tap here. You breathe in slowly. You breathe out twice as slow. I release and I let this go. Then here, same thing. You tap here. You breathe in. You breathe out slowly. I release and I let this go. The same thing here. You tap, you breathe in, you breathe out slowly. I release and I let this go. And really lower down your shoulders as you do this as well, progressively. Kind of move your head around a little bit. Then you tap here. You breathe in. You breathe out. I release and I let this go. Then you hold on to your wrist and you put your wrist down in your lap. You close your eyes. In your mind, you create an image of what it's like for you to feel really, really good. So you create an image. Maybe you're on a beach, or maybe you're in a forest, or maybe you're gardening, or maybe you're just taking a drive, or maybe you're petting your dog or your cat, or you're with someone that you really care about. So you close your eyes, you apply pressure to your wrist, you imagine or picture yourself in a situation where you feel really safe, calm, and comfortable, and you anchor that by exhaling and saying the word peace. Peace. Now, someone said too many steps to remember while I'm having an attack. So this is why you want to either write it down, and you want to practice this when you're not having an anxiety attack. Okay? And you want to implement this strategy. I have taught this to thousands of people around the world, and it helps and it stops, but you have to use it. I have people that say to me, I still feel anxious, my anxiety, because I've worked with tens of thousands of people around the world, and I still do. I have a group of about 120 people a week that I work with every Wednesday night. And if you want to join my group, the link is in my bio to join my group. And someone says, do you mind doing it one more time? Yes, I'll do it one more time. I'll wait a couple of minutes. So if you want to go and get a piece of paper or something like that, you can do that. So you can write down the steps. So what I would do, I would just draw a face, draw like, here we go. I'll do it for you. Okay. Here's what you do. You draw a head, and I'm going to draw an eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Okay. Yay. Like that. So that's what you draw. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and do this. So one, you draw one right there. Okay. So this is 1. 2 is the forehead. 2. 3 is next to the eye. So we have 1, 2, 3. 4 is under the eye. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is under the eye. 5 is underneath of the collarbone. Right here, there's a meaty spot, and that's number 5. Okay? So draw this. I know it looks kind of ridiculous, but draw this. These are the tapping points. Okay? So the person who said too many steps to remember, get a piece of paper, do something about it. No, I understand. So many people say this is a lot to remember, and it is. But like I said, that's why you want to really practice it, and that's why you want to become aware. Oh my gosh, it looks like there's that looks like the shadow. That looks like a really bad image. We're gonna move it out of the shadow. No, so this is what you want to write or draw down. When I do this with my clients, this is exactly the template that I give them. So there are some other tapping points as well that some people are mentioning, tapping here, under the nose, and here as well. These 5 points, this is what I found that are really good for anxiety and stress, overwhelm, and doubt. So it's all about stopping that pattern in its tracks. So again, you tap, and when you tap on each one of those points, you breathe in, you breathe out slowly, usually twice as long as you inhale. And you say these words, and it doesn't have to be this exact thing, but you say, I release and I let this go, or I release and let go all the shit that's attached to this. And that is a really good self-regulated exercise. And we call it self-directed neuroplasticity. Or I call it neurocognitive restructuring, because we're actually restructuring the neurons that flow when you're feeling panicked or anxious. Excuse me, sorry. Let's see here. So someone says about social anxiety. So this is a really good exercise that you can use before you go into a social situation, and it will help you feel more calm, more relaxed. I do have a lot of really good tips and tools for social anxiety that I give in my group, so you can go join my group as well. The link is in the bio. I also have a lot of tips in my book of how to make connections with people, and that's called The Hypnotic Connection. The link for that is also in my bio as well. Someone asked if the social anxiety could be due to Asperger's. There are many different things that can contribute to social anxiety. And that can sometimes contribute to that. You have a spider on your head. No, it's just the way my hair is today. And maybe the pictures behind me. If I really did have a spider on my head, that would be hysterical. So this is one technique that you can use that I find very, very effective with people when they feel anxious. Someone said, just tested positive for COVID, having a lot of health anxiety and some panic. Any advice? Excuse me. Yes. So the technique I just taught is really, really good for, again, detaching from that anxiety, calming yourself down. And I also have a bunch of other videos on my TikTok account for anxiety, and they're under the heading Anxiety Relief. So just click on that and you have a bunch of videos where I teach rapid relief strategies to help you move forward and overcome that anxiety. If this has been helpful for you, double tap on the screen to give me a heart, because that shares it to more people. So if you found this helpful, just double tap. Just do me a favor and double tap and do a heart, and it does send this out to more people. It increases the algorithm so that more people see this. I find that so many people are feeling anxious with not only just with everything going on, but with regular life stuff on top of everything that's going on. People are feeling so anxious that they need relief. And my mission is to teach people that you can get relief quickly. It doesn't always take years of therapy. It doesn't always take years of taking mind-altering medications. It can be something that you manage. Let's see here. So, and someone asked about tinnitus or tinnitus. It's different people say it different ways, and kind of feeling trapped in that. So one of the things that you can do is imagine going into your mind as if it were a control room, almost like the cockpit of a plane. And imagine that there are different sections of that control room. And imagine that there's a section that allows you to tune out tinnitus. And you turn that almost like a dial. You imagine turning it down. You can use this for any anxiety that you experience. Imagine something that causes you to feel anxious, and imagine going into your mind as if it were a control room. And there are controls that are connected to that anxiety, almost like a video game, cockpit of a plane, or even the movie Inside Out. You know that movie Inside Out where they have that control panel that's responsible for the feelings, the emotions, the memories, the core memories, everything like that. And imagine actually turning down the dial of anxiety and noticing what happens when you turn it down. So these are all exercises that I actually walk my clients through. And these are exercises I do in my group as well. If you'd like to join my group, you can do. The link is in my bio. You can go check that out. It is $1 for the first week, and then it's $67 a month. And we go live. I do group sessions every Wednesday night. I also do rapid relief sessions. So you can see in there, last night, I worked with someone and videoed it who experienced trauma. And they experienced trauma in 2 previous relationships. And in 20 minutes, the mental effects of that trauma were gone. And this is a person who's gone to years of therapy, and it was gone in 20 minutes because I'd work differently. So I do rapid relief with people. I show them that they can get core relief in a matter of just a couple of sessions. And I like to show people that this relief is possible in just about 20 or 30 minutes. So when I start working with a person, I teach them how to get rapid relief in just a matter of about 20 to 30 minutes of starting working with us. So no, we don't have to analyze the past, and we don't have to analyze your relationship with every single person you've ever come in contact with. You're also not talking a lot about the problem. We're talking more about the solution. It's very solution-based and solution-oriented. The thing is, though, you've got to know how you've been feeling, and you've got to know how you want to feel as well. Someone said, hi, I've been using your finger rubbing technique while calm, the nervous method, and it's amazing. Oh, thank you so much. Jeffrey Epstein's favorite child. Hi. I always love it when you join my lives, because your screen name, I say this every single time. It makes me laugh. So we have people on here who use these techniques, and they work. They get relief from them. I have a couple of people who are proclaimed psychiatrists and psychologists that come on here. They say, "What are your credentials?" And my credentials are, I can guarantee you that I have worked with hundreds, if not thousands more people than they have, because most of my referrals come from doctors, psychologists, psychiatrists, and traditional therapists. You might be wondering, what are my credentials? So I am a board-certified clinical hypnotist, an NLP master practitioner, and also I hold a bachelor's degree in marketing and psychology. So the regulations and credentials are different in my line of work, and also the way we work with people are very different. I work with a person's subconscious mind. Most therapists work with the conscious part of the mind. The conscious part of the mind is a very analytical, logical part of the mind, and the subconscious part of the mind is a very emotional part of the mind. So we work with that emotional, habituated part of the mind. Excuse me, I have to cough. I apologize. Just recovering from a minor head cold. Sorry if I'm wiping my nose. Let's see here. Someone says, I have severe anxiety with intimacy. Is that something you can help with? Any advice right now? Yes. So with intimacy, there are a couple of things that can cause that. Number one, past traumas. Number two, embarrassment. Number three, infidelity. Number four, trust issues. So there are a few things that can trigger that. So what we want to do is we want to ramp up usually confidence and comfort level as well. So whenever somebody says something about intimacy, I always recommend, number one, exploring your own erogenous and intimate zones. So get comfortable with yourself sexually, and then so that way you can allow other people to feel comfortable with you intimately. Number two, imagine floating into somebody who is sexually comfortable with themselves. So for example, I was working with a client on this a few weeks ago, and I asked one of my clients, I said, who's someone that is so passionate that you view, it could be someone in a movie or someone that you view as just so passionate that you'd love to take some of their level of intimacy and love and compassion. And he's like, well, it's not really someone from a movie per se, but I think of a Latin lover, like a Latin lover. And I said, great, what would your Latin lover's name be? And he said, Victor. And I just imagined someone named Victor being like, ven aquí, like, come here. And so what you can do is identify almost like this character that you can play. And in your mind, imagine playing this character, like this character role, and floating into that person. So I hope this helps. Let me see here. Just landed, do you understand astrology also? So another part of what I do, now don't get all weird on me, is I also do mind reading for entertainment. So I do understand a lot about astrology, a lot about intuition, a lot about different forms of energy and stuff like that. I don't do that in the clinical work that I do with people, but it's something that I do know a lot about. Um, Someone said I go to therapy too and all sorts of things, but that one technique is useful from you is the only thing helping. So do more of that. That's good that you now know what's helping, and it's also good that you know what's not really helping. So do more of what works. My anxiety is the first thing in the morning. Morning makes it hard getting going. Any help? Yes. Morning anxiety is real. And the reason why some people feel anxious in the morning is because when they're waking up, naturally our body creates more cortisol, higher cortisol levels to get us up and going. Some people interpret that as stress and anxiety. So one of the things you can do is imagine that anxiety is like a little program in your mind. And imagine, again, become aware of it and imagine you can pluck it out like a little SD card and poof, stick it on the ceiling. Imagine you can literally just toss it up on the ceiling and then look at it. Rolling your eyes up actually creates a different brainwave activity state for you. So it will help you feel more comfortable, calm, and relaxed. So as you look up towards the ceiling and you look at that little program, imagine changing the color of that program to something like from brown to blue or something like that, or black to yellow, something. And that will actually help you detach from that anxiety and imagine what it would be like for you to keep the anxiety stuck to the ceiling from the morning and go about your day without that anxiety. Create that image in your mind and float into that image. That will help you substantially detach from any type of morning anxiety, worry, doubt, or fear. So if you like this, feel free to hit that follow button because that's what helps me help you. The more people that like this, so if this is useful, double tap on the screen, send me some love, show me some hearts, because the more this helps you, it helps me help you, and it also helps me help other people as well. So with that said, hey, for some of you, depending on where you are in the world, it's Christmas Eve, and if you celebrate Christmas and Christmas Eve, please have a Merry Christmas for me. And I know with a lot of things happening in the world right now, it's difficult for people to see family and friends and loved ones. And some people, it's easier to see family and friends and loved ones. And some people are like, I don't care. So whatever floats your boat. But from my heart to yours, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And I really do wish everybody the best throughout the holiday season. I know it can sometimes be a really stressful time. So if you're in the UK, several of you are saying you're in the UK. If you are in the UK, is it like officially Christmas Eve there yet? Because I think I'm in Massachusetts and New England, and I think we're 6 hours difference. I think you're 6 hours ahead of where I am. So if that's the case, it would be about 12:30 in the morning there. Oh, 11:30, perfect. So it's almost Christmas Eve for you. So it will be Christmas Eve soon. So this weekend, I'm excited because I'm actually moving my boyfriend, so that's really exciting. And we got the U-Haul. We got the U-Haul truck. Chrissy from Australia. Hey, I actually just had a client in Australia yesterday and a client in Australia today. So a lot of my clients are actually in Australia. So just find the holidays hard. Yeah. Here's a little secret about me. I love the holiday season because I love looking at Christmas lights, and I love just like the music and the cheer and stuff like that. I do not like the hassle. I hate the hassle. I don't like the hassle. I don't like the hustle and bustle. This is a time where it's supposed to be where it's supposed to be kind and giving. But I find that like when you go to a store, people are just assholes. Oh, hey, Bailey. Hey, Bales, come here. I'm watching my friend's dog. This is Bailey, everyone. Hey, Bailey. Bailey's, hi, how are you? How are you? This is Bailey. Bailey is my friend's dog. My friend is going away for Christmas, so she asked if I could watch her pooch for her. And this is, La Gordita. She's a little chubby. So Bailey is a little chunky. Hi, Bailey. How are you? You want to say hi to TikTok? She's looking at me like, Dan, Uncle Dan, what are you doing? Like, why are you just talking to no one? Why are you talking to yourself in your phone? What's wrong with you? So anyway, okay. So here's the main thing to take away from tonight. She's pleasantly plump. All right, she's pleasantly plump. Yes. Oh, and she wants me to rub her belly. Bailey, that's not ladylike. Put your lady parts away. What are you doing? ¿Qué estás haciendo, chica? Thank you. See, she knows. When I said put your lady parts away, she turned the other direction. Yeah, bless you too. Bless you too. Okay, bless you too. Yes, gorgeous. She's like, ugh, Uncle Dan, you... Yes, may I help you? No, don't turn them back towards the camera, Bailey. What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh, this dog, let me tell you. She's just a bunch of love. She is just a bunch of love. Oh, your son is called Daniel. So, the only person who ever called me Dan, and my real name is Daniel, but the only person who ever called me Daniel was my grandfather. And he was Southern. He's very Southern from the U.S., and he'd say, Daniel, get over here. And and I really like the name Daniel, and people call me Dan. My dad's family calls me Danny, and so everyone has their own name for me, but mostly people call me Dan. I love it when people call me Daniel. I don't mind if people call me Danny. Usually, like I said, usually my dad's family does. So with that said, my friends, keep this in mind, okay? Number one, after we finish this live, go to the link in my bio. I have a bunch of resources there. I have an anxiety relief quick start that you can watch. I have I have my group that you can join for $1. Then it's for the first week. Then it's $67 a month, which is less than $2.65 a day. So less than a cup of coffee. Are you done with me, Bales? You done? No? Okay, she's moving her butt. So I also have a podcast. Go over, join my, listen to my podcast. That's free. So I have a bunch of stuff. Just go check out the link in my bio. I have a bunch of resources for you there as well. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me live. Please share this around. Share my profile. Binge watch some of the strategies and techniques. My friend was getting a haircut the other day, my best friend Amanda. And she said, Dan, she said, you're never going to believe this. I was getting my hair cut, and my hairdresser was talking about the anxiety relief guy. And I was like, he's my best friend. And she said the hairdresser was saying, oh my gosh, I watch his videos, and they put me to sleep every night. And my best friend, she said, well, I got one better. She goes, I've actually slept with him. So, I love it. So it's really fun. I really love the work that I do with people. I love being able to be somewhat of a presence here. I know we just made it to 235,000 followers on TikTok. I know that's a small drop in a big pond. To me, it's huge. I do want to get to 1 million followers over the next year, so I'm going to do my very best to keep providing content. So help me help you by sharing my videos, my content around, and I really appreciate all of you. As always, be well, do good, be true to who you are, and from me and Bailey, the unladylike, ladiest dog you'll ever meet, have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and thank you very much for joining me live tonight. Wishing you the best of relief, my friends. Bye now.